Members of this honorable House and the listening public. C is resulting in the increased number of murders of young guns and drugs that arrive by air and sea is resulting raises the threat of weapons and drugs entering this island. My question, will the Honorable Premier please inform this honorable House what the plan is to repair the HM Customs and Immigration Dock, a key component in our border security, to include costs and timelines for commencement of works and completion?
Premier?
Thank you, Madam Acting Speaker. Madam Acting Speaker, though I certainly would not be able to provide on my feet costs and timelines for these particular works, I can inform the Honorable Opposition Leader that those works are currently being undertaken, as was stated by the Minister of National Security previously. But I think it's also important to recognize that there is operational continuity within our border control system. Customs does deploy mobile and alternative inspection protocols while fixed infrastructure is repaired. We are coordinating with the other works in St. George's to make sure there's no duplication. And so from that particular perspective, there's also active RFPs on works that are taking place, such as the matter in replacing the building for the dock scanner on Hamilton with upgraded infrastructure that will be in place there as well. So I accept what the opposition leader says around the fact that we need to make sure that our border security is continued to be strengthened and invested in. And that is the reason why we have the largest capital investment that this country has seen in 16 years, making sure we're dealing with matters from east to west, also implementing matters inside of your constituency, Madam Acting Speaker, with regards to the Coast Guard station, so there could be further patrols and other matters to make sure that we protect our borders in this country.
Thank you, Premier. Do you have a supplemental, or you wish to move to your second question?
I have two supplementals on that
Okay.
one. Thank you. Simple question. Will the Honorable Premier please inform this Honorable House what the ballot budget allocation is for the repair of said dock?
I did say that I cannot give very much specifics. The honourable member can certainly put that question in writing, or I can happily provide it to him later, or I'm sure the Minister of National Security could. I do not, of course, keep tabs of all of the major government projects which are going on, numbering in the dozens, and I do not have those specific items in front of me, but I'm certain that those matters may have been covered either during the budget debate, but I'm certain we can provide a specific answer to the honourable member.
He will provide the answer later, member. Second
Thank you, Madam
supplemental?
Acting Speaker.
Yes.
Reference the question I just asked. The reason why I did ask is because I did check the budget book and I didn't see that there was any budget allocation for that item. I will
Okay.
go on to my second supplemental. Understanding that public docks were repaired and or being repaired instead of HM Customs and Immigration, why were public docks given priority for repair instead of HM Customs and Immigration dock?
Okay, Premier.
Thank you very much, Madam Acting Speaker. What I would let the honourable opposition leader know is that this government embarks on projects throughout the country, and it is not correct to say that one was prioritized over the other. The matters related to the mid-year review are prior to the timeline of which the honourable member had mentioned in regards to October 2024 regarding this particular matter regarding the dock. The mid-year review was in September of 2024. The processes that went into the mid-year review started in July of 2024, and it is right that the honourable former member, the then Minister of Public Works, identified that there were community docks that could be refurbished. And I'd ask the honourable member if he does not believe that members from constituency number 15 or other places should have access to docks that people had. The fact is that we recognize that due to the financial position that this country has been in since the global financial crisis, there has not been the required infrastructure investment in maintaining and upgrading infrastructure infrastructure, when we talk about matters related to communities, when we talk about matters that are related to crime and violence and antisocial behavior, it is important that the government invests in community facilities. And I can assure the honorable member, though he has a problem with the public docks which were done inside of various communities in this country, I know that the constituents living in those communities appreciate the fact that those docks are put back to use so they can enjoy the facilities that this country offers as well.
Thank you. Next question.
I just want to respond to that.
No. Next question.
Fair enough. There's a prioritization over public docks instead of...
That's your next question.
Yeah. Will the Honorable Premier please advise whether or not the number of persons who are currently facing homelessness or deemed homeless is higher than the 1,100 persons identified as being homeless or facing homeless by the charity Home in March of this year?
Thank you. Premier?
I would not be able to provide a specific answer. The thing on this place is that we must provide specific answers. I think the honorable member is asking for speculation. What I can say is that the honorable ministers that are responsible not only for housing, but also for youth, social development, and seniors continue to work on those particular issues. And I can tell the honorable member that he should look forward to an update on matters related to homelessness soon. But what we have been doing is work with agencies. The minister has given announcements regarding funding that was placed inside the budget for social issues that are providing emergency housing, that are working on issues for families that are displaced, on working with persons to make sure that persons who may be in positions of experiencing domestic violence and others have access to housing on an affordable basis. And so from that perspective, the work continues, and I look forward to the updates which will come from the Honorable Minister of Youth, Social Development, and Seniors on this topic in the future.
Thank you. Supplemental?
Acting Speaker, sorry. Question, will the Honorable Premier please advise whether or not the number is deemed to be lower or higher than is reported by Home?
I refer the honorable member to the answer I gave moments ago.
The second supplemental?
Acting Madam Speaker, understanding that there's a housing crisis in Bermuda, can the Honorable Premier advise why the Bishop Spencer School was not allocated for shelter for the homeless and people facing homelessness?
Premier.
Madam Acting Speaker, there are a number of various projects that are going on throughout the country in regards to housing and emergency housing. What is important to note is that with the partnership with Home, there are other places which are being developed. That particular site has gone out to RFP on a number of occasions. It has been reported in a matter of public record in this House, the decision supporting that. And I would ask the Honorable Opposition Leader, though he is only 2 days into his seat, to review the Hansard and review the public documents, because the answers to those questions have already been provided in this Honorable House by the former Minister of Public Works.
Thank you. That's your second supplemental. Can you move on to your third question, please?
Acting Madam Speaker, understanding that many units at Bermuda Beach Resort have not been rented, will the Honorable Premier please inform this Honorable House on whether a portion of the units will be allocated for affordable housing as a means to address the housing crisis?
Okay.
What I would say is that the Honorable Minister, Deputy Premier Minister of Housing, has stated that these particular matters are up to the occupation at that place is up to 50%. I will tell the Honorable Member that comprehensive housing matters, so whether or not it is Bermuda Beach, whether or not it is a record investment in public housing, the matters that the Honorable Minister of the Honorable Deputy Premier and Minister of Housing Municipalities have announced, whether that is Chelsea that is taking place, whether it's Battery Row, whether it's all the other items of Harmony, all the rest. There are multiple units which are being brought online, significant investment, the private sector rental program, and others. So I understand where the Honorable Member is coming from, and where there is a need, we will find ways. And I know that there are persons who may have been relocating overseas that the government has been working to assist, and some of those persons are housed at the Bermuda Beach Resort. So the answer to the question is we are working across the board to ensure that we can fulfill the needs that exist in our community.
Okay. Supplemental?
Question 3.
That was question. Member?
Yep.
That was question
Okay,
3.
fine.
Do you have any supplementals?
I do.
Okay.
In terms of... Yeah. Regarding hospital beds and overcrowding seniors. Actually, I'll conclude with those ones.
Okay, thank you. Are there any other members who have questions for the Premier? I recognize Member Fahey. You have one question, 2 supplementals.
Thank you, Madam Acting Speaker. Would the Honourable Premier please advise this Honourable House as to the date that the Morgan's Point Development Company Board approved the Memorandum of Understanding with Medical Concepts Consulting Management in regards to the proposed medical tourism facility at Morgan's Point?
The agreement is between the government of Bermuda and the company, not between Morgan's Point and the company. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Supplemental?
Thank you. Would the Honourable Premier commit to tabling the MOU to this Honourable House?
Premier?
Subject, I think it's interesting the source of where that is coming from, as we remember the time in government and where they hid behind. In the press statement of which I made, I did state that we would provide those relevant details to this Honorable House, and I will seek legal advice in those particular matters, but I'm happy to share as much information as possible because it is not something that needs to be hidden.
Okay, thank you. A further supplemental?
Supplemental. In relation to that specific MOU, can the Honourable Premier please advise as to how many acres will be utilized for the proposed medical tourism facility at Morgan's Point?
Madam Acting Speaker, I can assure you that those matters that are under deliberation and consideration, and those are not specific matters which are mentioned inside of the MOU.
Thank you. Any other members? I recognize the member D'Acuto.
Yes, thank you, Madam Acting Speaker. Member from 25. I know there's 36. I can't remember them all myself.
Yes.
Will the Honourable Premier, well, actually, let me just, to help give the context. In December 2024, this government advised the public that it would remove the requirement for a mandatory medical exam upon all driver's license renewals. I personally know as of August of this year that requirement was still in effect, and I don't see it on the order paper, so I imagine it's likely to still be in effect for the rest of the year. So the question is, could the Honourable Premier please inform this Honourable House why the government has failed to make this simple change which was promised to the Bermudian public? Thank you, Madam Acting Speaker.
Premier.
I thank the Honourable Member for reciting our commitments, and I recognize that there are 11 pieces of legislation for consideration of this Honourable House that are coming down today. What I can advise the Honourable Member is those matters continue to progress with the Ministry of Tourism, Transport, Culture and Sport, and honourable persons or the people of this country should look forward to those particular items being brought before the end of the year.
Do you have a supplemental?
Yes, Madam Acting Speaker. Many Bermudians would feel that the government is, in fact, not coming through with its promises fast enough. The Premier alluded to various pieces of legislation working their way through the system. Does the government have any plans to further reinforce the teams that are working on drafting and creating this legislation so that the people of Bermuda can receive the promised benefits? Thank you.
Madam Acting Speaker, it is rich, I would say, coming from the opposition on a day that 11 matters are tabled that are going to advance things, whether it's enhanced mental health access, whether or not it is the paving the way for construction at Elbow Beach Hotel, whether or not it is the fact that we are going to be stabilizing pensions, setting in pension fee caps, all the other things, promises that were made in our election manifestos, which were being delivered. Some of those matters which are being called by from the opposition, and the Honourable Member is asking whether or not we will reinforce the bodies that are there to do the work. The reason why we have 11 pieces of legislation is because the government has done just that, made sure that the Attorney General's Chamber is supported with additional resources, and that is the reason why we have those particular items. So the answer to the question is yes, we will continue continue what we have been doing by making sure they have the support to deliver on this government's legislative agenda. And if more resources are needed to be found, they will be reallocated, because this government has a history of staying within our means when it comes to spending, and that is the reason why we have been able to deliver not only a balanced budget, but a budget surplus for the first in 23 years.
Thank you. A further supplemental, your last one.
Yes, thank you, Madam Acting Speaker. I think I translate that response as there will be no changes made to the resourcing. My second supplemental is, will the Premier commit to when the public should expect to get rid of this extra expense that they must incur when renewing their driver's license by having to get a medical? Thank you, Madam Acting Speaker.
I answered that in my first question. Clearly he's not listening.
Thank you. I recognize Member Simmons from constituency 34, is it? Or 33. Yes, it's two Simmonses almost
It's
back
a lot
to
of
back.
Simmonses in there. Good morning, Madam Deputy Speaker.
Yes.
Just have a question in relation to the government back in July gave a press conference on the start of the Mangrove Bay project. Could the Honorable Premier inform the people of Sands, who would be very interested and excited about this project, when they expect that to come online?
Premier?
Thank you, Madam Acting Speaker. I thank the honourable member for his question, because earlier this year the Minister of Health and the Minister of Public Works and Environment did host a press conference to announce the start of construction of the restoration works of the Mangrove Bay Clinic. And as the honourable member represents persons in the West End, he would know that this is particularly important to the members of the public who live in the West. This project marks an important milestone in delivering this government's promise to restore health care services in the West End. It is unfortunate that this particular clinic was closed, but it is going to undergo a full renovation, transforming it into modern community healthcare facilities. The renovations are being done by a private contractor, which announced Sunrise Construction, and it is expected that they will be completed in time for an opening next summer.
Thank you, Premier. Supplemental?
Thank you, Madam Deputy, and thank you, Honorable Premier, for that answer. With the facility that's going to be reopened in the timeline you outlined, what will be the specific services available to the people of the Sands community at that facility?
Thank you, Madam Acting Speaker. And I thank the honourable member for that follow-up question, because it is important. Because what the Ministry of Health has been doing is making sure we transform the delivery of health care in this country. It is a difficult process, undoubtedly, and there are challenges when dealing with matters related to long-term care, etc. But when the facility is completed, it will offer a range of services, improving access to community health care. The programs that will be expanded primary care services under the Bermuda Health Council's Enhanced Care Pilot Program, alongside with community nursing and mental health services, in addition to coordination with aging and disability services to provide support to vulnerable populations. The reality is that this is a meaningful investment in community-based care, which will make access to essential services easier and more equitable for residents in the West End. The model is one of integrated care, ensuring that residents can access multiple services in one location, and is part of our broader commitment to reform healthcare delivery and make it more community-focused, accessible, and patient-centered.
Thank you, Premier. You have another supplemental?
Yes,
Yes,
Madam
your
Deputy.
final.
Yes. Great news, I think, for many of the people I represent and the people across Sands. Could the Honourable Premier expand upon, he mentioned that there will be investment in healthcare. Could he outline some of the other government investment in healthcare and how they plan to expand healthcare access for Bermudians?
Thank you, Madam Acting Speaker, because it is important to remember what this government has done in this particular budget year and how we're going to continue to invest in healthcare. There's $22 million of additional funding for the Bermuda Hospitals Board, which represents a 10% increase year over year. There are the matters, $3.3 million in renovations mentioned for Mangrove Bay Clinic, the St. George's Clinic, the Hamilton Health Center, as well as architectural planning for the expansion of Sylvia Richardson Care Facility and also Leafroy House. And in this parliamentary session, as promised in the budget statement, we will expand prescription drug coverage from 3,000 to 5,000 under future care, and from 1,000 to 3,000 for those on HIP, eliminate the 12-month waiting period for home health care benefits, giving families faster access to essential support annual wellness exams for all HIP and future care clients, as we do not want copays to interfere with preventative care. These investments, which are funded in this budget, which is, a reminder, Madam Acting Speaker, the second budget surplus in 2 years, are about fairness, affordability, and building a healthier Bermuda, starting with those who require it most.
Thank you, Premier. I recognize the member Robinson from constituency
30.
Yes, 30.
Hi, good morning. Thank you, Deputy Madam Speaker. Just for clarity for the public and listening audience, can the Honorable Premier and Minister of Finance please provide the names of the airlines that are currently receiving minimum revenue guarantees from the government?
What I would say is that's commercially sensitive information, and I would not be able to provide it. However, if the honourable member wants to have a conversation, discussion with his counterpart and pose that particular question, I'm sure this will be answered. This is a well-established protocol of which we've been in this House many times, which has been stated regarding these things and regarding the commercial sensitivities and related to these particular matters. Those are our particular items. So I'm happy for him to have that conversation, discussion with his direct counterpart.
It has passed the lunch hour, but I am inclined to go for the next 9 minutes. So we're going to continue, and then we'll break for lunch. Yeah.
Thank you, Deputy Speaker.
Supplemental.
Yes, for supplemental. Can the Honorable Premier then provide the cost to the taxpayer for these minimum revenue guarantees without giving off specifics of who they are given to?
I'm certain that information may be able to be provided to the honorable member, as I said before, but I am not certain about the existence of any minimum revenue guarantees in the first place. So I cannot confirm the cost if I'm not confirmed the existence of such. But what I would say, if the honorable member wants to have a direct conversation with his counterpart, as someone who is the Shadow Minister of Tourism, and I'm assuming Shadow Minister of Transport as well, he should know, well, recognize, understand the sensitivities around that, and he should talk to some of his colleagues on that side who served as Minister of Transport, recognizing how the public disclosure of these things can impact competition inside of the particular market. So I would encourage him to take that, but I cannot confirm that the matters of which he's speaking to are actually there.
Okay. Thank you, Premier. Your final supplemental?
Yes, Deputy Madam Speaker. Could the Honorable Premier and Minister of Finance then confirm for the listening audience whose remit do these minimum revenue guarantees fall under, the Ministry of Finance or the Ministry of Tourism, Transport, Culture, and Sport?
They fall on the remit of the government of Bermuda, led by the Ministry of Tourism, Transport, Culture, and Sport.
Thank you, Premier. Are there any other present? Oh, I recognize the member from constituency 23. You have the floor.
24.
20. What did I say?
Also, you said 23. 26.
Oh, 26.
Thank you very much for recognizing me, Madam Acting Speaker. In July, the Honorable Premier attended a ribbon-cutting ceremony at Harmony Hall in Paget. Could the Premier kindly provide more details on these housing units, including the cost of rent per month? Thank you.
Preparation and lovely. Oh, look, they are upset, Madam Acting Speaker, but we will go. Thank you. I think it is important to note, because the honorable members on this side posed questions that were related to matters that are related to Harmony housing. And as the chirping happens over there, if members want specific answers, they may want to say, I will be asking on this in case you want to bring specific answers, Honorable Premier, so those answers can be provided. And I will do my best to make sure they can have those. But on this side, Madam Acting Speaker, we work as a team. And when people want to get the information for their constituents, we are able to make sure that information is provided. So I am pleased to answer the honorable member's question. I'm waiting for them. I am pleased to answer the honorable member's question and say that there was the ribbon cutting of 12 newly renovated units. These units do have a monthly rental cost between $1,100 and $1,500 a month, and it marked the successful completion of Phase 3 of the master plan, which will bring a total of 52 2 affordable housing units online. And the important thing to note is that this project was delivered by the Bermuda Housing Corporation under budget.
Okay. Thank you. Do you have a supplemental?
Madam Acting Speaker, I do. Could the Honorable Premier please update this Honorable House on what other work has been done or will be done at other locations throughout the island to increase the stock of affordable housing? Thank you.
Thank you very much, Madam Acting Speaker. As I previously mentioned, there is the work that is taking place at Harmony Hall. Phases 4 and 5 are already planned and funded, and we'll see the redevelopment of Harmony Terrace North and Harmony Terrace South, adding 16 units each for a total of additional 32 units. This forms part of the government's wider efforts to increase the supply of affordable housing across this island. We know that we've made record investments in affordable housing, and we know that we increase the allocations to the Bermuda Housing Corporation by $4.2 million this year, on top of the record investment of which we've already made. I think it's important to note where in Southside, units have been renovated to support families and seniors, Wellington Slip Road, Rock Oven Lane, Beacon Hill, and Harmony Hill, where refreshments and upgrades and refurbishments are made. In addition, the Deputy Premier and Honorable Minister of Housing recognize that the historic Chelsea property in St. George is under renovation, delivering 2 3-bedroom homes and 2 2-bedroom homes by 2026. 18 Battery Roads in St. David's, Phase 3 is now underway to create 12 new units in a mix of studio and 1 bedroom. And of course, in Middletown, 4 new 2-bedroom units are also expected to come online in early 2026. The work for affordable housing continues, and that is due to the record investment of which we're able to deliver because we have successfully restored this country's finances to allow us to make those investments.
Thank you, Premier. For other supplemental? No?
Thank you, no.
Okay, I recognize Member Pearman. Member Pearman, you have the floor.
Thank you, Madam Acting Speaker, and good morning, or good afternoon, I suppose now. The Honorable Premier should be aware of the significant and valid public concerns with how few inquests have occurred over the prior decade. This seems like a very easy fix with minor changes that can be made to the legislation that is almost 100 years old and was last amended over 25 years ago. Will the Honorable Premier invite the Honorable Attorney General to work with the opposition to put in place an amendment so we can fix this and fix the legislation for the grieving families of Bermudians whose loved ones have died in suspicious and unknown circumstances?
Thank you. Premier?
Madam Acting Speaker, what I would say is an important part of parliamentary democracy is the ability to bring matters to this honorable House, discuss those issues, and come hopefully to solutions. I have taken note that the honorable member has raised this particular matter in the public sphere, and I think that it is certainly a valid matter. I'm not going to state at this point in time in Premier's questions time that I'm going to direct the Honorable Attorney General on this particular matter, as the Honorable Attorney General and I have not spoken on this particular matter because we were preparing a very busy legislative agenda getting ready for Parliament. But what I would say is that I would welcome if the honorable member wishes to write to me officially on these particular matters. I can happily discuss with the Attorney General, and I am more than willing to have the Attorney General reach out to the honorable member to discuss it, whether it's to the Law Reform Commission, whether it's here in Parliament. I think there was a recommendation around bipartisanship, so whether or not it's done through a committee, whether it's done through something else, I'm happy to do so. When there are matters that do touch on families, I think that is something that's important, and so I will commend the honorable member for raising this particular issue, and will happily work towards. But I'm not going to get here in Premier's question time and say I'm going to give a direction to the Attorney General when I have not actually spoken to her specifically on this matter.
Okay. Thank you, Premier. Supplemental.
Yes, thank you. And I thank the Honourable Premier for his answer. I understood from that A, I am to write to the Honourable Premier formally, which I will do. What I didn't understand in my supplementary question is the Honourable Premier undertaking to this Honourable House that he will discuss this matter with the Attorney General?
Absolutely. Whether or not he writes to me or not, I will do so. But I think in the way that it is, if you would write to me formally, I can make sure that a formal response comes to the member, the deputy leader of the opposition. I can make sure a response gets to him formally on this particular matter. So it could be a matter of record. But I think it is an important issue, and I look forward to possibly advancing it.